This morning, the fate of the Mauston School District on the ballot for a third time. Those results from overnight and other key races from the spring primary.
Plus, mass layoffs in the federal workforce, how it has affected one Madison resident. Happy Wednesday morning, everyone, and welcome to News 3 Now this morning. I'm Kyrian Lee.
I'm Chris Stanford. You feel the warmer temperatures out there this morning?
Oh, yeah. No, not yet. Not yet. But on a brighter note, I just looked it up. 29 more days till spring.
Hey.
And that is what I'm looking forward to
There we
because
go.
I can't take this anymore.
Yeah, the forecast looks like we got some spring-like temperatures on the way. It's getting closer, at least.
It's like not springy enough, but close.
They're heading in the right direction.
Yes.
That deep freeze that we've been in, looks like we're about to get out of it. Savannah Brito's here with some positive news to play in your day. Hey there.
Yeah, guys, definitely looking much better once we're heading into the weekend. Just got to get past the last alert day today. Our temperatures are still going to be very cold with a high only at 11. We'll have wind chills factored in all day long. Those are going to still be sub-zero across most of southern Wisconsin all day today, but at least we're not starting the day off as cold as yesterday. It's still around -3 degrees right now with the wind chill down to what feels like about -10, but there is already improvement today from what we had yesterday. We're starting the day off a little bit warmer. We've got that extreme cold warning to our northwest, a cold weather advisory for us across southern Wisconsin. And guys, that actually expires earlier than the last couple of days today, 10 a.m.
All right, looking forward to that. Savannah, thank you. All right, let's get to our results from the spring primary. A lot at stake in Mauston as the school district tried again to get funding to keep schools from shutting down.
That's right. Our Michelle Renee Quinn is here with the results. Michelle Renee, did they get enough votes this time?
Yes, they did. Mauston School District residents approved the referendum with 2,044 yes votes to 1,034 opposed. Now, due to funding shortages, if this was not approved, the district could have been dissolved. You might remember I mentioned yesterday, this is the district's third ask. They gained more supporters each time from last April to November and now. So I guess third times really is a charm for Mauston. And this does mean people in the Mauston School District can expect an increase in their property taxes. That number is an additional $35 for every $100,000 of assessed property value. This will fund the school district for the next 4 years. Now, the official canvass will take place Thursday to confirm election results, keeping the Mauston schools funded for the foreseeable future.
All right, 3 times down, and they got it. So,
Yes,
Michelle
they did.
Renee, thank you for that breakdown this morning.
Absolutely.
All right, let's talk about turnout yesterday in Madison. 65,000 people showed up to the polls yesterday. That is a 15% turnout rate. Let's get to some of those results from the local elections, Kyrian.
All right. Well, in Madison's 9th district on the city's west side, incumbent Nikki Conklin and challenger Joanne Pritchett advanced to April's general election here. Conklin first got elected in 2021 and has served 2 times. Now to Madison District 10, Council President and incumbent Yannette Figueroa Cole will advance to the general election along with Lisa Veldrin. For Madison District 12, incumbent Amani Latimer Burris will advance along with Julia Matthews. Latimer Burris first got elected in 2023 and has served 1 term. Now to Fitchburg, in the race for the District 3 seat, Logan Riekstad will advance along with incumbent Jay Allen. In Sun Prairie District 1, Casey Drangler and Alexander Robertson will advance to the general election. And in the race for mayor of Watertown, Steve Board and Robert Stocks will advance on to the general election in April. Finally, in the statewide race for superintendent of public instruction, incumbent Dr. Jill Underly and education consultant Brittany Kinzer will advance to the general election. So stick around for our next half hour where our Michelle Renee Quinn will break down that race. The spring general election will be on April 1st. Statewide voters will also see 2 Supreme Court candidates on the ballot.
6:03 now. We have new information, including video related to the Amber Alert out for 16-year-old Sophia Franklin. The Beaver Dam Police Department are releasing this video here to News 3. It's from a home security camera taken February 3rd. That's the same day that 40-year-old suspect Gary Day was last seen at Franklin's home. The Amber Alert for Franklin is still in effect in Wisconsin, Arkansas, and Missouri. Franklin is several months pregnant, and Day is known to be the father. He is charged with child enticement and child abduction. If you have any information about where they could be, call the Beaver Dam Police Department.
The federal workforce is facing mass layoffs as the Trump administration works to downsize the government. A Madison resident is one worker who is now out of a job. Dr. Matt Minich is a former social scientist in the FDA's Center for Tobacco Products. He started his position last November. He's considered a probationary employee due to being a recent hire. He says he knows at least 4 other scientists in his cohort who have lost their jobs.
Obviously, it's sad for me, and it's sad for my colleagues who have lost their jobs. But I think it's also sad for the American public. The reason for that is because the people who are being fired are people who have devoted their lives to keeping your kids healthy.
He says the mission of his center is to reduce the levels of death and disease caused by tobacco products. He says he fears that without this center, public health will suffer the consequences.
President Donald Trump also threatening to impose a 25% tariff on automobile parts. The president saying that he would reveal more on that proposal in early April. The president's already imposed a 25% tariff on all aluminum and steel imports. He's also directed his administration to look into reciprocal taxes to match what other countries impose on U.S. goods.
The U.S. and Russia will restore each other's embassy in their respective capitals. They also agreed to appoint high-level teams to work on a path to end the war in Ukraine. Secretary of State Marco Rubio says it would be done in a way that's acceptable to all the parties engaged. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky says he will not give in to any Russian ultimatums or sign any agreement negotiated without his country's involvement.
A new report highlighting rising income inequality across the nation, in Madison is seeing the sharpest increase. Income inequality jumped roughly 4.5% from last year. That's according to website Smart Asset. The report shows the top 20% of earners in the city made over 4 times more than the bottom 20% last year.
In Racine, 2 people are injured after a house explosion. Take a look at this video here. This happened just last night. A neighbor told reporters the building is a duplex. One person got stuck in her unit as flames began to spread after the explosion. Neighbors helped free the daughter just in time before the entire home became engulfed in flames. Racine police say they've evacuated people in the area.
6:06 here on your Wednesday. Savannah, what's coming up in your forecast?
All across Dane County, we're dealing with sub-zero air temperatures, wind chills still in place, as well as a cold weather advisory. We'll talk about when that expires and how warm it'll get over the weekend.
And we're live in the 608 with a Spirit of Service follow-up. We're in Stoughton this morning with a follow-up to last year's winner and what he did with the winnings and the future of the Stoughton VFW. We're going to give you a tour coming up next.
You're watching News 3 Now this morning. Moving forward.
We're in the 608 this morning with a follow-up to our Spirit of Service campaign.
Josh Breider is live in Stoughton this morning. Can you our coverage of local veterans doing something good? Hi, Josh.
Hey guys, good morning to you. Yeah, this is a Spirit of Service follow-up because you might remember my 2 friends that are standing to my right here this morning, Rob and Jordan. Guys, good to see you.
Good morning, how's it going?
Oh my gosh, it's going well, and it's good to see you guys. A lot of people will remember Rob was the winner of our 2024 Spirit of Service Award, and you went in with a mission to bring your money back here to Stoughton. And where we're standing right here, what did you do with your $5,000 last year?
Last year, we did over a $500,000 edition, and we just actually wrapped up in December-ish, and I stuck my money back into the VFW, and we got a bunch of painting done in here. We got the hardwood floors done while our kitchen was down, and got a kitchen remodel out of it too. So yeah, a lot has happened here since the last time we talked.
Yeah, you guys have been super busy on giving this place a little refresh, and why was that your mission in doing something good here in the community?
Well, just something that's been talked about for 40 years to my knowledge, and coming here my whole life and then getting the opportunity to be commander, and myself and Jordan and our other commanders just looked at it and were like, this is the time to do it. And then the Spirit of Service Award came up. This guy nominated me for the award and I ended up winning. And so I was, what do you do with the money? You stick it back into what you pour your heart and soul into, and that's what we did.
I mean, Jordan, this was a big reason why you nominated Rob, is because he always wanted to give back, and that's exactly what he did.
It is. Rob does so much for this community, hometown hero, back in Stoughton, to just be able to represent the Stoughton community and the veterans within the Stoughton community, if not all of the Madison area. This man does so much work with everything. And to have that big goal to make those updates for this facility, for the veterans, for the community, because this is a community center for all of Stoughton, to be able to invest in that and to showcase what Rob has done for the community has just been outstanding. And a big thank you to Vortex for this and to all the community partners that help make this a reality.
I mean, that's like a big push is the younger generations, right? You're trying to make this more of a destination again. And why is that so important here for the future?
It's important to be inclusive for all involved in the community. And so being able to have ADA bathrooms for our aging veterans, being able to have family changing stations for the younger veterans with younger families, it really just makes sure that everyone knows that this is a place for all involved. Come and have your fish fry and bring the kids and have your fish fry and, be able to use that and know that you're going to be comfortable here the whole time.
So you guys are going to be having a little open house to be able to show off the renovations coming up this weekend. So what do our viewers need to know about that?
So from 4 to 8 o'clock this Saturday, we're going to have a little ribbon ceremony. We have some government people coming down. We have some community leaders coming down, and then the public. I mean, anybody and everybody's invited, and we don't necessarily have a VIP list, because if you donated $5, didn't have the time to donate anything, or if you donated, matched, we have a couple people that matched my $5,000.
Wow.
So yeah, anybody and everybody can come down and check it out. We're gonna, give kind of some makeshift tours so people can check it out. It's a huge undertaking that took a lot of time, and all the time was well worth it. And the money that we stuck into it is, it's just incredible to be able to, you guys saw the space earlier. It's a job well done by everybody.
Well, congratulations to you guys again. Appreciate the tour. And if you'd like to learn more about their little open house this weekend, just go to the story up on channel3000.com. Coming up in our next half hour, we're going to go see some of the new additions of this building, guys. And it's truly special to see just how much of a difference they're making right here for the Stoughton community.
It really is special to see them, pouring that money back into their own community. He could have done anything with that money.
Right.
He chose to put it right back into what he loves and cares about.
And make it bigger and better at that.
Love it.
Yes.
Love it. All right. Seeing results. Josh Breider, thanks. Josh is always looking for inspiration to share in the 608. Got an idea for him? Reach out and let him know about it.
Well, let's check in now with meteorologist Savannah Brito, who's here now with your alert day. What do we need to know?
It's the last alert day. We had a string of several in a row, and yes, it's still cold outside, but there's silver lining and warmer temperatures finally underway for southern Wisconsin. A little bit better by tomorrow afternoon. We're at -13. That's what the wind chill factored in Madison. Some spots are still below -20. Monroe's at -20. Lone Rock, -22, -27 in Camp Douglas, and -25 in Watoma. Everyone's still under this cold weather advisory. That's in place until 10 in the morning, so at least it's able to expire a little bit earlier than the last 2 days. The cold weather advisory and even that extreme cold warning Black River Falls and Watoma saw yesterday, because once we get to 10 a.m. temperatures will be a little bit warmer than what we had yesterday. 9 a.m. an air temperature should be above that 0-degree mark at 1. We're waking up to sub-zero air temps as well. Right now, -15 with the wind chill factored in. At noon, 8 degrees, -7-degree wind chill. This will be the warmest part of our day, that 2 to 4 p.m. time frame. 11 degrees will be the temperature high today, and that'll be around 3 p.m. But the wind chill will still likely be sub-zero. -4 is what it'll feel like out there for the most part across southern Wisconsin. Might be a couple areas that reach above 0-degree wind chills, but that'll be more the case all across the area tomorrow, with our actual high finally getting above 20 degrees in some spots. The forecast high tomorrow, Madison 20. Our average high is 33. When we get to the weekend or closer to the weekend, that's when temperatures warm up even more. By Saturday, we'll be only 5 degrees off from our average high, with a forecast at 28, and then 39 Sunday. So we actually have above average temperatures that are going to return to the forecast. Meteorological spring's only 10 days away. March, 10 days away now. The spring equinox, 29 days away. So we're finally under a month now until we all reach spring. There's the stretch of the 5 days that I just had, but but after that, even into early next week, we're going to be warmer. 40s return, and that'll actually be about 10 degrees above average.
Wisconsin exercised some demons when they went into Mackey Arena and won at a place where they've historically struggled to. Now it's on to Illinois, a team that they've lost 9 straight games to. Well, the Badgers' last win against the Illini was February 20 of 2019, and Greg Gard's squad had it going on early. Carter Gilmore, known for his threes this season, shows off his footwork in the paint. He spins and wins with a kiss for 2 to put WISC up 5. Then later, it was Steven Crowell's turn, and he had himself a first half. 12 points and 5 boards for Big Steve, including all 3 of those to add to that lead. He finished with 20, and the man of the night, John Tanjay, another 30-burger from him, 31 points to be exact, to become the first Badger with back-to-back 30-point performances since Michael Finley did it in 1994. Badgers win again, 95-74. High school boys hoops, Mount Horeb looking to wrap up the Badger Small Crown with a win over McFarland. Vikings down 4 early. Owen Ashleman doing his part to bring them back. The triple in the corner makes it a 1-point game. Spartans would answer with a run of their own. Garrett Krall comes up with a loose ball and going to drop home the floater. McFarland led by as many as 8 in the first half, but Mount Horeb would come all the way back and then some. Josh Manchester stops and pops for 2 as the Vikings crowned conference champs with a 56-39 win. Well, the Badger women's hockey team is back on the ice after a week off and looking forward to closing out the regular season on a high note in Bemidji. And as far as the Beavers go, well, the Badgers will be seeing a lot of them. Wisconsin will face off against Bemidji State in back-to-back weeks, this weekend on the road, and then next weekend at home in the first round of the WCHA playoffs.
It's an interesting position, not one I've been in, or I don't think many of the girls on the team now have been in. Playing a team in general, a 2-game series is hard in itself, but playing them 4 times in a row, like it's going to be a challenge.
You're going to have to work hard. You're going to have to compete at a high level. But I mean, as you know, anytime you play a team past 2, 3, or 4 times in a row, it's challenging.
And speaking of the Badger women's hockey team, Lacey Eden is our guest this week, so be sure to check out Friday's episode of the Wisconsin Huddle at 6:30 right here on News 3 Now. And that's it for Morning Sports. Have a great day.
Still ahead, what do you get when you combine skiing and horseback riding? And Coke gets in on the new beverage trend.
We're back to talk about it right after this.
.623, this picture from Gwen. She says full snow moon in February. So there you have it. Got your good old Wisconsin barn and
the beautiful
all
sky.
the beautiful sky up there.
Yeah.
Must have been before all the snow and get some bare brown ground there.
Oh, give me a home. Well, that kind of gives me those vibes.
Nice.
Such a beautiful picture.
On the range.
Barn and a silo. 2 for. Thanks, Gwen. Well, trending this morning, Coca-Cola is jumping into the prebiotic soda category with a new beverage that's being touted as good for your health. Simply Pop is expected to roll out later this month. The drink will come in 5 different flavors and will contain vitamins to support gut health. Simply Pop's going to be a rival to those popular Poppy and Olipop brands. According to Coke, functional beverages are projected to generate $2 billion in sales by 2029. Starting to see a lot more of these out on store shelves. So they're kind of pricey though, aren't they?
Yeah, because like 1 can of that Olipop is like $2.50 or something like that.
Yeah, it's pretty expensive.
And it's like just the little baby cans, and yeah. But then like they always say this, then there's like sugar, alcohol, and a whole bunch of other things in it. So
I've still never tried one.
yeah. So we'll see.
Maybe we'll do a taste test on the show.
Oh, we should. Yeah, there we go.
I'm up for it. Well, check this out. A lot of you out there love winter sports, but how about this? Skijoring, a combination of horseback riding and skiing. It's a big competition in Idaho. It gets pretty intense. They even take some pretty nasty spills. Teams have to not only be fast, but they have to navigate between the gates and snag as many rings as possible. Even the people riding the horses have to grab rings. Extreme skijoring is a big deal in the Wood River Valley up there. They had a record 135 teams compete in multiple divisions with $10,000 up for grabs.
The horses look fed up.
Just looks hard.
You humans just keep coming up with things and I gotta compete. Like I was minding my business in the barnyard. And then here we are.
What are you talking about? This is what horses are for.
Yeah, it's actually, when I was looking into this, they say it's good for the horses because they're cooped up all winter long and they need to get out and burn off that energy, and they want to get active.
Like us.
Blood flow.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I don't know. It takes a lot of skill to do that for sure. We have only one more alert day and then warmer temperatures on the horizon by back to 20 by tomorrow. And then much better this weekend, maybe even a couple 40s by Sunday.
That looks good. All right, we're back with spring primary results right after this. You got it. Well, this morning, 2 candidates left in the race for DPI superintendent. We'll have the results and a reaction.
Plus, we look at the governor's top priorities for the next 2 years, the funding he's asking for, and reaction from the other side.
Good Wednesday morning, everybody. Thanks for tuning in to News 3 Now this morning. I'm Chris Stanford.
And I'm Kyrie Lee. Thanks for waking up with us this morning. We're halfway through your week. And if you're anything like me, you've been kind of rushing the week a little bit just to get through these cold temperatures.
I know. We're at the tail end of it, though. Yes. We're about to start that upswing. Got some really nice temperatures in the forecast. Let's check in with meteorologist Savannah Brito, where we're sitting a little bit warmer, but still pretty darn cold out there still this morning.
Yeah, we still have sub-zero air temperatures, but nonetheless, it's a much better start all across southern Wisconsin compared to yesterday. And our cold weather advisory actually only extends until 10 in the morning. The last couple of days, it was 11, and then even noon yesterday. So warmer temperatures a little bit earlier in the day, but we're still not talking about near normal temperatures. Here's some bright news. We only got 10 days until March 1st. That's meteorological spring and the spring equinox 29 days away. So guys, we're finally under a month to go until March comes and spring.
That's hard to believe.
I know.
When it's this cold out here, the meteorological spring's just...
Yeah, you had to find something to feel warm this morning.
Bring it on.
Yep.
Thanks, Savannah. Folks, you can track those temperatures yourself with the free First Warn weather app. Find it wherever you get yours. Now to the results from the spring primary. The one race that was on everybody's ballot yesterday was for the superintendent of state public instruction.
That's right. It's a role that comes up every 4 years and oversees public education across the state. Wisconsin is the only state where voters elect the top education official, but it has no state board of education. Our Michelle Renee Quinn is here with the 2 choices moving forward in the April general election. Good morning.
Chris, Kyrie, good morning. The 2 advancing DPI candidates are incumbent Jill Underly, seeking a second term, and education consultant Brittany Kinsner. Now, although state superintendent is a nonpartisan role, Underly is backed by Wisconsin Democrats, and Kinzer is favored by Republicans. In a statement, Kinzer writes, "From now until April 1st, I will continue to travel the state and share my plan to bring a clean slate, a fresh start, and a fundamentally new approach to DPI." She says our kids deserve so much better. Here's what Underly says her plan is going forward.
I think the difference is very clear between me and Brittany. She's a voucher lobbyist. She's advocating for policies that I think would ruin public education and schools in Wisconsin. And so I think it's my job going forward to just educate the voters on what the differences are.
Essentially, a win for Underly in April would mean she maintains her role on both sides of the aisle. So once again, on your April ballot, your 2 choices moving forward for DPI state superintendent are Brittany Kinzer and incumbent Jill Underly.
Michelle Renee, thank you for breaking that down. And if you want to see the up-to-date numbers from that race and other contests, we've got you covered. Just visit channel3000.com. There's a link on the homepage to the results, and you can see them all right there. The results are also scrolling at the bottom of your screen right now.
In other election news, voting vans can be used in future elections. The Wisconsin Supreme Court dismissed a lawsuit that challenged them. A 4-3 ruling found that Republican officials who filed the lawsuit lacked standing. They argued that the vans violated election law and unfairly boosted Democratic turnout. The court, though, did not rule on the vans' legality, leaving the issue open. Critics argued that the ruling makes it harder to challenge election laws in court. Well, the governor's new plan to spend your tax dollars is out.
He laid it out in his biennial budget address. Last month, he declared 2025 the year of the kid. He detailed how the budget would address that priority.
My pro-kid budget makes the largest investment in Wisconsin kids in any budget by any governor in state's history. With irresponsible decisions in Washington every day, hurting people in Wisconsin, we will need to have state resources readily available to respond to basic and emergency situations alike.
Let's look at some of the proposals. Governor Evers calls for over $300 million to address lead contamination. Data from the Department of Health Services shows that in each of the last 5 years, between 2 and 4% of kids under 6 had dangerous blood lead levels. The governor wants $145 million to fight PFAS contamination. He also wants $80 million for state efforts to improve student literacy scores. Spending on youth-related initiatives amounts to just over $3 billion.
Governor Evers also wants to invest in higher education as well as public education as a whole. $60 million in the budget would go to State Technical College. He's also calling for the largest ever increase in funding for UW system schools. His address didn't specify how much, though. His plan also includes some pretty big tax cuts for middle-class families, $2 billion in tax relief for those households. There's also a tax increase for millionaires of more than $1 billion. Here's reaction from Republican lawmakers.
This is kind of like the movie Back to the Future. He tried these things for the last 2, 4, and 6 years ago in his budgets. Just like then, lots of tax increases, lots of spending, and I have a belief that my colleagues will reject them just like they did before.
The budget will originate in the state legislature. Since Republicans control both chambers still, they will have a major say in what ends up in the eventual budget.
In other capital news, those recovering from losing their homes in natural disasters could receive tax incentives to move to Wisconsin. It's part of a new bill Republicans have introduced. State Representative Cindy Duco and Senator Dan Fine authored the bill. They argue drawing people to the state could help alleviate workforce shortages. The two lawmakers cite a report from a task force Governor Evers formed. It shows major deficits in multiple fields, especially health care. Those who move could receive an income tax credit of up to $10,000. Anyone with a felony conviction is not eligible for the benefit. The task force report says the deficit in registered nurses could reach 19,000 by 2040 and nearly 32,000 annual openings in the healthcare field over the next 5 years. The bill follows natural disasters such as Hurricane Helene and the wildfires in Southern California. They both claimed more than 250 lives.
636, take a look at this. Some new video from Wauwatosa where two teens are in custody. They're accused of stealing a DoorDash vehicle and leading police on a high-speed chase. The dash cam video here shows it all. Police say the teens were able to steal it pretty easily because the food driver left it running. The chase ended when the suspects crashed into another car. They got out and ran, but officers tracked them down and took them into custody. The teens will face charges of hit and run, recklessly endangering safety, and resisting an officer.
Two teens are in custody in connection with a deadly shooting on Madison's east side. They both face charges of first-degree reckless homicide and armed robbery. Police say the shooting killed an 18-year-old. It happened last Thursday night on North Thompson Drive outside the Meadows Apartments. Police recovered a handgun at the scene. A 16-year-old is in police custody at a hospital while he recovers from injuries from the shooting. Police arrested a 17-year-old yesterday morning after a traffic stop.
Well, if you live in Adams County, you can now text 911 for emergencies. The sheriff's office says it's for when talking to a dispatcher is not possible. It can happen in specific cases like kidnappings or domestic violence. It also helps people who are deaf or mute and who can't reach 911 the usual way. The sheriff's office warns, though, it may take longer to process a situation via text. They also say if you text it accidentally, call 911 and inform dispatch there's no actual emergency. The tech is in place thanks to a grant from the Department of Military Affairs.
This month, home builder confidence is down amid the new tariffs. The National Association of Home Builders Wells Fargo Housing Market Index measures builder confidence. The index fell to its lowest level in 5 months. This month, the Trump administration imposed a 25% tariff on all steel and aluminum imports into the U.S. The move could worsen America's housing shortage. Builders could see even higher costs if the president moves forward with his proposal for tariffs on Canada. Uncertainty over tariffs comes on top of persistently high mortgage rates hindering sales.
Food contamination is becoming more widespread and in many cases more severe. It comes from a report by the Public Interest Research Group. It says most of the illnesses last year were linked to 13 outbreaks out of more than 300 food recalls. Salmonella, Listeria, and E. coli were the most common reasons for recalls. 19 people died from an illness related to contaminated food. That is double the deaths from 2023.
The Beloit Historical Society will host small group discussions about growing up in the city among 3 ethnic groups. The series is called Hometown Conversations, Growing Up in Beloit. It explores the city's diverse cultural history through personal experiences. There are 3 sessions on February 27th, March 20th, and May 1st. The 3 sessions focus on growing up African American, Irish American, and Italian American. Each one has special guest speakers. Anyone who identifies as a member of one of the ethnic groups is invited to attend. They will all happen at Beloit College's Impact Beloit Center in the campus library. We have all the details, including the guest speakers, on channel3000.com.
All right, let's check in with Savannah and see what's coming up in her forecast. Hi there.
Hi, this is finally the last of the string of alert days we had. We're still waking up to really cold wind chills and temperatures, but we'll talk about the relief that's underway.
And we're live in the 608 this morning with a Spirit of Service follow-up. We're going to show you how last year's winner kickstarted a campaign in getting the Stoughton VFW some much-needed renovations. That's next.
You're watching News 3 Now this morning. Moving forward.
Hi, I'm Andrew in the booth from Oregon. Savannah, plan my day.
Love that. Our very own Andrew back in the booth. In Oregon, we are going to be seeing cold temperatures, but that'll be the case all across southern Wisconsin, unfortunately, again today. Your last alert day, though, and our last cold weather advisory. So wind chills right now, those are still much colder than our air temperatures, but there has been a little bit of an improvement in our air temperatures too, -2, but we'll see temps quickly rise to a high of about 11 degrees or 12 this afternoon in Madison. So we're finally going to see the lower teens. Yesterday, most of the area did not break that, and then we'll be back to 20 as early as tomorrow. These are current wind chills, though. -13 in Madison. We still have some spots that are closer to -30. Camp Douglas is at -27, -25 in Watoma, -20 in the Dells, -13 in Janesville, and -20 in Waukesha. Air temperatures, though, those are still sub-zero, but those will rise today. And our wind chills will not get out of the sub-zero category today. I think by tomorrow, that's definitely going to be the case. A few spots later this afternoon could, but I think most of us are still going to be about -5 degrees with cooler wind chills west and northwest of Madison. This will be the warmest part of our day, and then they're going to fall again tonight. We're looking at -15 to -20 for our lowest wind chill values overnight. A few spots could be slightly cooler than that, though, but that's not cold weather advisory criteria, unlike what we have seen the last couple of days. And then this is tomorrow, the warmest part of our day. Air temperatures get up to 20. Our wind chills finally reach above 0 all across southern Wisconsin, and a couple areas could even top out close to what feels like 10 degrees finally. Here's the warm up that we've been detailing. 20 tomorrow, 23 on Friday. That's still better than the 11 we'll see today. Our average is 33. We'll be only 5 degrees off from that on Saturday, with our high forecast to reach 28. And then Sunday, 39 in Madison. It's not completely impossible, though, that a couple areas even see 40s. That'll be more likely to follow that after early next week. That's when our precipitation chances are going to return. But also Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, air temperatures will be even warmer, lower to maybe even a couple spots topping out in the mid-40s. So from so far below average, we'll be about 10 degrees or so above average. So there's the warm-up that we've all been waiting for, at least most of us probably.
Yes, I don't know anybody who would enjoy anything below 0.
Exactly.
Yeah, it was a bit ridiculous. I mean, I love the winter weather and all, but
the snow.
Yeah, when it gets below 0 like this, especially for an extended period of time, it just like sucks the energy out of you.
If it's a day here and there, okay, but when you have a stretch of alert days because of the cold, it's not fun.
And here we are, warmer temps ahead.
Yes,
thanks, Andrew, for recording that video, by the way.
Yeah, shout out to Andrew in the back.
If you'd like to have Savannah plan your day, she'd love to do so. So send her a video. You can do it through our website, the First Warn Weather app, or Facebook Messenger, or you can email it in and then see if you wind up on the air.
Well, it's 6:46, and we're in the 608 this morning with a follow-up to our Spirit of Service campaign.
So Josh Breiter is live in Stoughton. This is a follow-up with the winner from last year, and Josh is showing us around, seeing what they've done with the money. This is so cool to see, Josh.
Oh my gosh, you guys, this is an amazing story, and I'm so happy we are here because this is why we are honoring our local veterans, because they're all about giving back to the community, and that's exactly what last year's winner Rob did here in Stoughton. Rob, good to see you.
You too, Josh.
So congratulations on everything you guys have done here, because last year you winning that $5,000 from Vortex for the Spirit of Service kickstarted your campaign in giving back to the Stoughton VFW.
Yes, sir.
Why was that your mission?
Just growing up here and coming here my whole life, we were talking about the flag thing up here and like what this post means to the community, what the post means means to me specifically, and getting the opportunity to be in charge of this place has been amazing, and I just wanted to brighten it up and see it better and prettier and have the community come, and there's weddings here and there's so many events here. It needed the refresh, it needed the upgrade, and I don't know if I want to say it, but I think this should be the last renovation this place ever sees.
It looks great.
At least big renovation,
Give us a little tour here. So when folks walk through the door, one of the biggest things they're going to notice is this whole half is all refreshed, all added on here.
Yeah, so this used to be the bathrooms right here. This was the men's room, and now we're walking through what used to be the wall, which takes us into our new addition. We have ADA compliant bathrooms.
And this was a big goal for you guys, was the bathrooms.
100%. I mean, there was just no room in the other ones. It was hard to get in and get out. There's changing tables in both the men's and women's restroom. The HVAC is all on its own now over here. Huge pantry space, huge walk-in cooler with a walk-in freezer attached to it. So it was a much needed, the biggest part was the bathrooms, but just the efficiency of our kitchen.
For your operation moving forward, right?
Yep.
I know one of your favorite places is this brand new kitchen, and why is that, Rob?
Well, we do a lot of stuff with the community. An example of that is our free Christmas dinner. The American Legion of VFW and a ton of people that are affiliated with both entities do a free Christmas dinner every single year. And that's just one example of what this kitchen is used for. So imagine this place packed on Christmas Day for a free meal. I mean, it's awesome. So extending this space, to be able to wash dishes, prep food, the efficiency, it was just needed. And at the same time, we bought a new stove. So I mean, where we just came from here, those used to be the bathrooms.
Wow.
So it's really wild, and to be able to achieve that in such a short amount of time. I mean, we just talked about it 3 years ago, and then Vortex and Spirit of Service and you and everybody else came out of the woodworks in my life and our lives, and now here we are.
I love that. I mean, you're so proud to be in this community, and that's what it's all about, is reinvesting into this community especially.
Yeah, absolutely. Yep. Yeah, and Vortex gave us that opportunity. It was really cool. I mean, my $5,000 that I won was matched twice, and that was just the kickstart. And then we teamed up with one community bank, and I know multiple people that work there. We got our loan and fundraised, and we're still fundraising, and we won't be fundraising forever. Just get the money and the donations keep on coming in, and that's what it's all about.
It all came together.
It did.
Rob, thank you so much. Congratulations on your space.
Thank
Appreciate the tour. They're having an open house coming up this weekend. We have those details up on channel3000.com. So everyone's welcome Saturday afternoon into the evening to come in and check out this new space. And this is exactly what the Spirit of Service is all about, guys. Veterans like Rob giving back into their community. And this is the future for a lot of these communities. And we got to do our part in honoring all of them.
I love to see stuff like this come to fruition for them. So congratulations.
The spaces look great, and kudos to them for putting that money right back into their community instead of selfishly taking it for themselves, which they could have done. They just poured it right back into the VFW. You can tell in the way he speaks about it that he just cares so much about it, and that it just means so much to him. Josh, thanks for showing us around.
Coming up in the morning sprint, the Wisconsin airport that could be getting more flights real soon.
Hey, if you got a little kiddo turning 3 soon, send us a picture. We'll show it on TV. We're back at the sprint right after this. 6:54, time for the morning sprint.
Schools in Mauston are expected to remain open for the foreseeable future. After 3 times, voters approved a referendum asking for a funding increase. Nearly twice as many people voted in favor of the funding rather than against it. If the referendum failed, the district likely would have had to close down. The result will lead to a notable increase in property taxes for those living in Mauston.
In the race for DPI superintendent, there are 2 moving on to the April election, incumbent Jill Underly and education consultant Brittany Kinzer. State Superintendent of Public Instruction is a nonpartisan role. However, Democrats have backed Underly while Kinzer has earned the support of Republicans. This was the only statewide race on the ballot.
For that race and several others, we now know which 2 candidates will advance to the general election in April. Several cities in our viewing region had primary elections for council seats. They include 3 in Madison and 1 each in Fitchburg and Sun Prairie. Voters in Watertown will also elect a mayor in April. You can see all the results on channel3000.com.
The governor's new plan to spend your tax dollars is out. He laid it out in his biennial budget address last night. The plan includes a 20% increase in overall spending. Governor Evers' areas of focus include water quality and education. He also proposed $2 billion in tax cuts for middle-class family, while millionaires would see a tax increase of about $1 billion more in taxes.
2 teenagers are in custody after stealing a DoorDash vehicle and leading police on a high-speed chase in Wauwatosa. It happened early Monday. Officers found the stolen car and attempted to stop it. The suspect sped away and eventually crashed into another vehicle. They even got out and ran, but officers caught them and took them into custody.
The La Crosse Regional Airport could be welcoming more airlines. Airport director says that Delta, Sun Country, and Allegiant have all shown interest in adding flights at LSC. Delta left the airport in 2023 because of staffing shortages. They could return as soon as next year.
Our last alert day today for the cold, and then finally temperatures start to warm up a little bit. 20 by tomorrow. This weekend looking pretty good. 28 Saturday, 39 Sunday. Not impossible at a couple spots. Hit 40 as early as Sunday, but that's more likely on Monday. So just a couple more days to make it through the cooler weather.
So a good start to the beginning of the week then.
Exactly.
All right,
much better than this past start.
You right about that. Yeah. Savannah, thank you.
We're back with another news and weather update in 30 minutes.